So, ladies and gentlemen, the beta demo for Nioh has released, and boy oh boy, what is new? Now, in the beta demo, you are offered a tutorial mission. Now, in this tutorial mission, you're going to be given a lot more depth as to how the game mechanics work, how to play the game, etc. Now, another thing added to the beta demo is pretty much improvements in frame rate. For example, when I did start the mission, I was pretty much greeted to a huge hike from the 30 FPS to 60 FPS, which is very interesting, to say the least. I guess you could say they pretty much optimized and fine-tuned the areas. Now, another thing, in the mission select screen, you are offered to go to your home base, which is basically like your shrine. But, however, alongside, you do get dojo missions if you wish to master Nioh. Haven't tried it yet, but my best guess here. More online options have been added in the event you do want to run a private room with your buddies and etc. And finally, the display of difficulties towards certain actions like picking a mission, fighting a ghost from a bloodstain, etc. Pardon my Dark Souls jargon. Now let's go on to, in case you haven't heard of the game in the first place. Nioh is a game that is a cross between Dark Souls and Ninja Gaiden, and of course this is from Team Ninja. And of course, Team Ninja is known for the two franchises Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden. In Nioh, you play as a samurai named William, who is tasked with going around there hunting down demons, and of course, saving Japan from, well, hell, as villages have been ravaged by bandits and demons. William seeks to take them all on in order to restore balance upon Japan. When it comes to combat, Nioh introduces you to three stances: a low stance, mid stance, and high stance. Now, low stances allow you to pretty much give out quick attacks without the need of chugging up stamina. Mid attacks basically eat up a medium amount, but however, medium speeded attacks. And of course, if you want hard hitting attacks, high stance, which will allow you to pull off more devastating attacks, but however, at the price of way more of your stamina. Now, there is a technique that you need to learn called the key flux. And pretty much after your attack, you must press R1 in order to pretty much do a quick recovery of your ki, aka your stamina. Make sure you remember key flux, because key flux is very, very useful. Also, if you run out of stamina, not only are you more vulnerable, you're going to be unable to make any movements whatsoever until the stamina bar is full enough for William to either escape or fight back. Things to pretty much look out for besides enemies are pretty much not only loot, but these little turtle guys called the Kotodama. And when it comes to finding Kotodama, it becomes rewarding because if you find Kotodama, that gives you high percentage of item drops. Speaking of that, that feature is known to be the blessing. You find a Kotodama, you go to a shrine, and then you select the blessing. Like, say, for example, I need healing items, so I pick the healer blessing, and of course, I get more healing items. The more Kotodama you find, the more percentage of item drops or weapon drops, depending on which blessing you pick. Also, another thing to know is locking on your enemies. And when you lock on your enemies, and of course, if you kind of like total this guy to a point where the target icon turns red, you can pull off a devastating attack, because it's familiar to Ninja Gaiden's obliteration technique, but this will allow you to do a more devastating attack, which could either pretty much eat a chunk of your enemy's health or pretty much execute the shit out of him. And of course, your forms of defense against enemy attacks are blocking and dodging by pressing the X button. And in speaking of the X button, you can hold down the X button to pretty much make your character dash around or dash across the map. I know it's pretty much a no-shit Sherlock thing to mention, but let's keep on going. Of course, you do have your unique skill trees to pretty much learn new skills from, or upgrade your skills and etc. Oh yes, there is the two currencies you get. You get the money and you pretty much get the Amrita, which is basically your souls for those who've played Dark Souls. When you die, you don't lose money, but you do lose your Amrita, and you do lose your spirit animal until you die again when you have not touched your grave after your last death. But however, if you do touch your grave, you can get back your spirit animal quickly and pretty much get back your Amrita. Now, you do have the option of calling back your spirit animal in the event you do need him for something, and you do kind of feel like you're not going to be able to go through these enemies again to pretty much get it. But, however, you lose Amrita still. Now let's move right on to the spirit animal. You are introduced to the spirit gauge, and of course you fill that spirit gauge by gaining Amrita. And when the spirit gauge is full, you can call upon your spirit animal, who will power you up and make you invincible for a short period of time. And judging from how difficult Nioh really is going to be, you're going to need to utilize the spirit gauge and your spirit animal alongside mastering key flux. Because when it comes to summoning your spirit animal, you're not only powered up, you can do way more powerful attacks. This is very, very useful, especially when you're fighting demons that will pretty much pop out of the glowing shadows of gray. Or you can call them these gray glowing auras. And in terms of multiplayer features, you are offered co-op, which means you can summon any partner at your shrine and then have them help out, take out a boss fight, or take out a group of foes that are menacing, etc. When it comes to weapon varieties, you're going to be given swords, dual swords, axes, spears, bow and arrows, even guns. Now that I'm done with the gameplay stuff, let's go ahead and take a look at the design and, of course, the background music and the sounds. Graphical performance is great, and of course, sound performance is still great as well. I have not ran into a single noticeable issue whatsoever. If you haven't touched on the alpha demo of Nioh, then please download and play the beta demo of Nioh, because it's gonna be worth it. Difficult? Yes. Fun? Yes. But however, if you have played the alpha demo whatsoever, hey, at least you still get to play Nioh before the game is finished and released. Anyway, that is all, and I'll be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out.